everyone, it's Emma again, and today I'm going to be talking about all the essential things I think that you should bring to study abroad in Seoul or anywhere in really South Korea or in East Asia from what I've talked to with other people who study abroad in China. So first of all, when I was getting ready to go to Seoul last summer, I was doing so much research online, reading blogs and different student messages online and different YouTube videos, and then even with all that research and help, I still felt like there were a lot of things that I brought that I either didn't need or things that I wish I had brought and that were kind of hard to find in Seoul or that were more expensive than at home. So I'm going to be giving you some tips on what I think was the best things that you should pack so you're not wasting time stuff in your suitcase. I know with Asiana and with Korean Air and the other big air companies, you can bring 2 full-size suitcases, which is amazing. Because then you can bring so many clothes. I know my friends who went to Europe can only bring 1 suitcase, which is really hard to pack for different seasons. Luckily, with Korea, you can bring 2, but you still don't want to waste the space with a lot of things. So the number one thing that I recommend bringing is sheets for your bed, especially if you know the size of your bed. They'll probably be a typical twin, extra long. I really wish I had brought a pair of sheets, because I did read online that they don't have fitted sheets regularly available in Korea, but then so many blog posts on Reddit and different sites were no, don't worry, Home Plus will have them. Well, they did, but they were very expensive and they weren't the sheets that I really wanted. So I think on the first day, an extremely jet-lagged group of girls and me, we went to the Home Plus, which is 2 stops away from Seoul, and Home Plus is basically Target. And we bought sheets for our beds, but they were very rough and cheap quality. And then they didn't come with the actual long straight sheet or the not fitted sheet. They only had the bunchy elasticated fitted sheet. So when it was really hot out and I still wanted a blanket, I had to use my heavier blanket as opposed to just having the light sheet on top. And also because I think it was 30,000 won for just 1 fitted sheet, which is pretty much $28 or $29. I think that's very expensive for just 1 sheet for a bed, considering the really poor quality and there wasn't a lot of selection in terms of size or color. So definitely I would just go to Target or just get some sheets that you already have from your house, throw them into your suitcase, just 1 or 2 pairs because you have a laundry room there. And I would definitely recommend that because I just really wish that I had a more comfortable sheet experience that wasn't so expensive. Second thing, and related to sheets, would be towels. I did bring 2 towels with me and I was so happy because one, the towels you could buy there, they were just really rough and thin. They weren't the nice plush American towels that you might be used to. So I just brought 2 towels that I used at college that were already kind of used, so it was fine. So at least I didn't have to spend money on new ones. And then I would just I threw them out or I donated them when I left Korea, so at least I had more space for my other purchases. And then throughout the semester I was able to use them in showers and washing my hair, things like that. I also brought a little hand towel for the bathroom because although they do sell a lot of hand towels there, I just it's another thing that you can just throw in your bag. It's really small, it doesn't really take up a lot of space, so I would also recommend that. When it comes to things to bring in your suitcase, I would bring a capsule wardrobe. I really did try to pare down the clothes I brought with me because I do tend to overpack when I go on other vacations or trips. So I tried to just bring a few pairs of jeans, a black pair with rips, a pair that was dark wash, and then I had a few pairs of leggings. I brought some workout clothes because you will go hiking in Korea. I mean, there was a gym there, but admittedly I did not use it very often because it just wasn't a very good gym. People would literally be doing squats in Adidas slides, which I didn't think was very safe, and the people would just always be using the treadmill, and the weights were really gross. But anyway, but I would definitely bring things that you can mix and match, cardigans if you're a girl, different sweatshirts, light tops for when it's really hot out the first few weeks because it's going to be very humid when you get there in August or at the end of your semester if you go in the spring. I brought a couple different scarves because it does get very windy and cold as the winter comes, and it's good to layer with different outfits, a denim jacket, just very basic things. I did bring a couple of nicer outfits for going out to dinner or going out or whatever, but really you can buy so many clothes there in Korea that there's no point in bringing a lot of things. I would bring, especially if you are a taller person, because it's harder to find clothes that are longer or that are a little bit wider. Actually, when I bought my favorite pair of jeans in Korea, in Jeju, I was shopping at a boutique, and then I was like asking the woman like what size she has the jeans in, and she was like, oh, this is the biggest size we have. And I'm like not a very big person, but these jeans like barely fit me. Like they must have been maybe a size 4 in the US. So just like know that the clothing will be like very small in Asia, or in Korea. So definitely things like tops, dresses, things like that are very easy to buy, but definitely things like bottoms might be a little harder if you're like not stick thin, which like most people aren't. Back to like showers and things like that. I also recommend bringing like razors and like more feminine products, like tampons, pads, whatever, because although they do sell like razors and tampons and all that there, they are a lot more expensive, and they are like sold in very small quantities. Like at Olive Young, it's kind of like a CVS, but like just like toiletries. They would sell tampons, but it would be like a 10 or a 12 pack, which you need more than that just for one cycle. Also, bring toothpaste. I read about this before, and I'm so happy I did this. I brought like 2 or 3 tubes of toothpaste, which honestly is too much, and I was so happy I brought them because the toothpaste there was just kind of weird. There was a lot of like weird flavors that weren't mint. I just personally like using mint toothpaste, and I just read a lot of stuff online about how there isn't like fluoride or some other chemical compounds in the toothpaste that really worked well, and I just didn't want to have to get like cavities when I was in Korea, so I did that. I mean, my roommate did buy toothpaste there, and she said it was fine, so I guess literally your preference, but I would just bring it personally. Also, on the subject of like going to CVS or Rite Aid before you leave, I would definitely bring enough medication for the whole trip. Like for example, I just brought like my whole 4 months of birth control with me because I didn't want to get the hassle of prescriptions there. Or I also brought like some Tylenol and some sleeping medication just in case it was more expensive there, or like the language barrier, I wasn't sure. And I was definitely happy I had these things because I did feel a little sick the first 2 weeks after being on the plane. Yeah, I just think that's so much better just because like the pharmacies there are helpful. Like I never got sick enough to really need them, but I know my friend did and they were really helpful. But I still think it's just easier and safer to go with something that you already know from home. Also, you should bring your favorite snack. I mean, I was very, very homesick the first couple of weeks just because I landed in Korea. I didn't really know the language. I mean, I didn't know the language, that's a total lie, I knew nothing. Only 2 other girls from my school were there, and they were from a different campus, so I never even knew what they looked like before. And I mean, everyone there was very new and stuff, but I just like get really anxious in the beginning of like new social situations. So like the first 2 weeks, I was just like so homesick, and it really helps me to have a few snacks from home. Like I just brought like some random like chocolate I liked, and actually this is kind of like a very example of me like over splurging. I ordered a ton of almond butter off iHerb because I didn't like the breakfast at the university, so I just like stopped getting breakfast there and I would just get dinner there instead. And then I would just like make like almond butter toast in my room, or like almond butter and bananas or whatever, because the fruit is really cheap there. And I just like really felt like more at home when I knew I had a snack that I liked and I wouldn't go hungry. I also brought tea bags as well because there is a lot of tea there, but it's more like green tea and things. I just wanted my English breakfast, so I brought that with me, and I was really happy to get like a really cheap kettle at Home Plus for like 10,000 won or something. Of course, like if you're not really like a food person like me, like don't worry about this. And they do have like some foreign food places, especially in Itaewon, but I think it is good to bring like at least one snack that you like, just for like the first 2 nights when you're calling your home, when you're like, I'm so like homesick. I would also bring for Seoul a raincoat and an umbrella, and also sunglasses or a hat, because the first 2 weeks when we landed, it was so hot and so humid, but we did so much exploring around the city that I just was really happy that I had sunglasses. I also had a baseball cap for hiking and things like that. It just really like helps you like stay cool. And it does rain in Seoul quite a bit. I kind of wish I had brought my rain boots, but they do take a lot of space. But at least I had an umbrella. Actually, I think I brought my umbrella there at Daiso, so honestly, this tip you can kind of disregard. You can get an umbrella at Daiso for maybe 5,000 won. I'm going to talk about Daiso and E-Mart and all these other stores in my next video when I talk about where to buy things in Korea, so you can check that out in a couple of days. Another thing I recommend you bring with you is a camera, a GoPro, even an iPhone if you have enough storage. Make sure you free up storage on your phone before you go, because you're going to be really mad if you're at like a palace on the second day and you have no storage on your phone. So I recommend doing that or buying iCloud storage. So I did have like a giant camera with me, but that I got for Christmas like years and years ago, but I never really knew how to use it. So it was kind of stupid of me to bring it, thinking I would know how to do it in Korea all of a sudden. But I did use my GoPro all the time, which you'll see in other videos. I just recorded things like when we were going hiking, when we went to Jeju, when we went to Tokyo during Chuseok, things like that. And like at the time I was kind of like, oh, like now I have to record some clips. But I would just do like a few little clips of scenery. It was so fun. And now it's nice to look back and be like, wow, like that beach was so pretty, or I'm so happy I went here. So I definitely recommend. That's kind of like a no-brainer tip, but it's something that like I'm like really bad at remembering to take pictures, so I was happy I did force myself to do a lot abroad. Sorry, I'm just looking at my list. Oh, definitely bring adapters. I brought, I think, one adapter with me, but it was just better to have two because I also had like a desk lamp, my kettle. My roommate and I would like use it for different things, like charging our laptops. And I remember I was with this other girl on the second day, and we were hunting like adapters down in E-Mart, and then like they're just super expensive, and I just felt like I could have gotten a cheaper one in the US. So I just got one that has like all of the different like prongs. So you can use it in Europe, you can use it in like all different countries, and I was really happy I had that because then I was able to bring it to Tokyo with me with a slightly different charging ports and still be able to charge my phone and my camera, so that was amazing. Lastly, I suggest, this is very cliche, you should bring an open mind. I knew going into this trip that I would like learn so much just about the culture and about other people, but I really didn't like think I would become so attached to Korea and all the places I visited, all the people I met. So definitely like also bring an open mind. I just think it makes the experience so much better when like you have not that you have no expectations, but like you just like you're very hopeful, and you just like you're like able to roll with what happens. You know, like sometimes plans change. Like I really wanted to visit Hong Kong or Taiwan when I was there, and it just never ended up working out because attendance policy at Seoul was pretty strict, and I didn't want to fail a class. But you know, I had so much fun exploring Korea and just like going around Seoul. Like Seoul is literally, you could spend years there, and I still feel like you would never like even like scratch the surface. So just really like go in there, try to do as much as you can, even when you're super tired, and you're not gonna regret it.